Hey guys, my name is Kia. I run Here for a Good Time online plant business. If you're new here, welcome. Today, I just want to give you a little inside look at what I kind of do in the daily life of owning a plant business. Once I get home, because I do work a normal 9 to 5, if you will, one of the first things that I start with is check my plants, see if they need to be watered. Right now, I watered fairly recently, so they don't need to be, but I do need to fill the jugs. I fill the jugs with water from the tub and I let them sit for at least 24 hours to kind of get the sediment out of it. Something that I like to use in my plants is this foliage focus. It is a real good fertilizer for houseplants. I actually ended up buying it because I think his handle on Instagram is Sydney Plant Guy. That was something that he suggested to use. So in the meantime, what I would normally do is I would fill the jugs, and then I would put the fertilizer, like a cap full in each jug, mix it up, and then I would go around and I would water all of my plants. But because my plants don't need to be watered right now, I'm just gonna fill the jugs. So after the watering is finished, usually I would go around and I'll just start pruning my plants, making sure that if there's any dead leaves that we're taking care of that. Also like to use Captain Jack's dead bug spray. This is what I use. I really like this stuff. I used to use neem oil. I swear by neem oil, but it smells really bad. So if you're doing it like me and you have a bunch of plants in a room and you don't want to smell really bad after using it, I don't suggest using neem oil. But Captain Jack's, I feel like, is almost just as good as neem oil, and it gets rid of any pests and is a good preventative. Most of the time, I don't get pests. If I do, I get something really basic like spider mites. I don't feel like it's super often that I get pests, so I'd say it's working pretty well considering the amount of plants that I do have in this room. So I don't normally have to check orders, because if I get an order, it'll come straight to my phone. And so that's not something that I really need to worry too much about. I don't have to sit down at the computer and be like, okay, what orders do I have today? But it'll come to my phone and I'll usually pack the next day. I want your plant to arrive at the healthiest that I possibly can get it. Personally, I've never had one of my own plants show up to somebody dead or so damaged that it's beyond saving. I really pride myself on that. I'd say a lot of times shipping does get there on time. Once in a while it might be a little late, but again, I've never had a lot of issues. It just varies and it seems to be worse in other areas. So I'd say I got pretty lucky for the most part. Now, if I don't have any orders and I don't have to worry about packing anything, then again, pruning, going through and just checking my plants, making sure that they're looking pretty healthy, really good. Are there any pests? Does it look like there's any type of fungus or anything else growing? Is there anything on the underneath side of the leaves? So on and so forth. Sometimes I'll go and I'll do a plant purge in one of the plant groups. Really just depends. Now, sometimes I do have bookkeeping that I need to do. It's something you should really do weekly if you're running a plant business, obviously. So one of those things being, okay, what have I sold? Have I lost any plants this week? In the sense of they weren't doing well and they died, they were sick, etc. I definitely take inventory weekly, and I basically just make sure that everything is looking good and healthy. If anything's not, I'll switch it from one shelf over to the other. Obviously, these are not as good looking. But yeah, I just go through and I do the daily duties, and sometimes there needs to be repotting and other things that happen. Which leads me to my Tycon Monstera right here. I have a couple of cuttings that are in water. They're ready to be repotted. And here is the original base right here. So I'm thinking about putting all of it back into this pot, and we'll see how that goes. All right, everyone have a great day.